Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumararpanamastu. One more occasion to be grateful to Bhagwan for all that he has done, all that he has been doing all the time. We have offered the Nama lotuses at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. Now today, we shall once again go through some teachings of Bhagwan. They were all diamonds, pearls of wisdom that kept dropping from Bhagwan's divine wisdom. Now and then, when Agaram Jayaraman was with him, we have already gone through it once before, but then once is never enough. Even songs, Bhagwan would ask us to read again and again, to sing again and again and again. If he asked anybody to read something, he would go on asking them to read again and again and again until he was sure that they had absorbed it. It's a process. Whatever we learn from these great masters, we have to bring it to our mind again and again and again and contemplate until we get it in the system itself, that it becomes one with our blood. And then, very naturally, we would begin to do what is expected of us by him. We saw day before yesterday how Sai Baba, Bhagwan's helper in his father's work, that's how he described the dog that he chose for his father's work. Bhagwan would not even tolerate if somebody mentioned it as dog. Once a family, a little boy was afraid to come near, saying, Nai, Nai, which means in Tamil, dog. Immediately Bhagwan got wild. He said, don't say it is Nai, it is Sai, Sahai, the helper in Father's work. So, we saw how Bhagwan monitored everything from inside that at the right time when the Bairagi had come, when the Bairagi wanted to harm Bhagwan by chanting some mantras of Kala Bhairava. But before the mantras damaged Bhagwan in any way, Sai Baba came jumping inside and then went and stood by Bhagwan's side. And then what did the Bairagi see? None other than Kala Bhairava in the place of Bhagwan. Bhagwan gave darshan to the Bairagi as Kala Bhairava, with Sai Baba by his side as Bhairava Pika. We also saw how Sai Baba helped on the occasion when a family, Gomti's family, brought their son, Kannan, the little boy, who was bitten by a dog. We saw yesterday how when he was seated there, Sai Baba came right inside, went straight to the boy despite his screaming, and then smelled exactly the place where he was bitten by the dog. And immediately after, he went back to Bhagwan and sat there like a goody-goody boy. And Gomti knew that Bhagwan had taken away the poison. This mic is very disturbing. So now why I am saying what Bhagwan had to say about the dog that helped him in his father's work. When Agaram Jayaraman was seated next to Bhagwan in Sannadhi Street house, Bhagwan said, Jayarama, do you see this Sai Baba? He helps this beggar. He is dear to this beggar. When this beggar goes out, people say Namaste with veneration. They show respect to this beggar. But then, when Sai Baba goes out, they throw stones at him. They hit him hard on the face itself. What kind of veneration is this? They all know Sai Baba is with me, helping this beggar. And they show respect by folding their hands and saying Namaste. But when Sai Baba goes along, they begin to torture. What kind of veneration is this? What kind of worship is this? But Jayarama, do you know what has happened? Sai Baba these days has become like a sadhu. He has become more sattvic. He remains very calm and quiet when he is with his beggar, when people visit. Sometimes he sees people who hit him hard when he goes out in the streets. He recognizes them and then simply growls. That's all. He stops there and then he keeps quiet. You see, Jayarama, he is no more ferocious like before. His anger is gone. He has become calm and quiet. And then Bhagwan smiled at Agaram Jayaraman and said, Jayarama, even Jayarama has become calm and quiet these days. After some time, his anger will be gone. So, what does Bhagwan expect from this? People who came to him for refuge, people who chant his name, people who do seva to him, he expects them to become calm and quiet, contain their anger, and give it up slowly. It is a very slow change, slow transformation, but this is what is expected by Bhagwan. The more and more you get closer to God, the calmer you become. Less angry, less fearful, less sorrowful, less jealous. Less self-pride, lesser and lesser desires for worldly things. These are expected. This is transformation. And then Bhagwan went on to say, Jayarama, you had some special blessings recently from Swami Jnanananda. His book was to be released on Chitra Purnima day, and one day earlier your brother Krishnamurti, who is serving Swami Jnanananda, he fell down and fractured his right hand, and you were riding a scooter in Chennai, you fell down. You also fell down one day before the release of the book, and you also fractured your hand, and the same right hand. What is it, Jayarama? Both of you are serving your master sincerely, like Anjaneya, and yet this has happened. How could Swami allowed this to happen? But Jayarama, Swami Jnanananda has blessed both of you in a very special way. Do not think it is something negative. Do not think that Swami has let you down. He has poured special blessings on both of you. Jayarama, do you have any indication, anything, any index of this accident left behind as a marker to remember this occasion that you fell down despite your sincerity, despite your devotion, a day before the function that you had to fracture your hand? Has it left any mark for us to remember? Jayarama said, yes, Swamiji, there is a scar. And he showed it to Bhagwan. Then Bhagwan said, oh Jayarama, this is for the remembrance of his blessing. Take it only that way. Everything that happens, happens only by the wish of the Lord, and that is for your good. And then Bhagwan went on to say, do you know how Anjaneya served Sri Rama? When he went in search of Sita, he was captured by Indrajit and his people. He was tied up and he was dragged along the streets, and people were throwing stones at him and they were mocking at him, and what was more, they set fire to his tail. It is by Sita Ma's grace it did not burn him. He did not feel the heat of the fire, nor did it spread. But then he was humiliated, he was beaten up, tortured every way. But Anjaneya did not mind it at all. He was only waiting for the moment he would get inside the court of Ravana. His mind was always on the dedicated seva to Sri Rama, Rama Seva, Rama Nama, Rama Seva. They were his only ideas. He did not mind anything else. No matter what happened, it was part of Rama Seva for him. He never even thought he was being humiliated. When he went to the court of Ravana asked him, "Why would you destroy such a beautiful garden? You have seen Sita, but why did you have to destroy that?" Immediately, Anjaneya said, "Only then I would get to see you. I would be brought here. You see, it worked. They brought me here in front of you. I wanted to see you. I wanted to see what kind of person you are, how you run the city." So, in the seva, in Rama Seva, in Guru Seva, if something has to be done so that the seva would progress, it is not to be thought of adharma. This is what Bhagwan was trying to say. Everything was part of Rama Seva for Anjaneya. He did not mind the humiliation. He did not mind destroying the garden. What mattered to him was only Ramanama and Rama Seva. You people are like Anjaneya. Anjaneya did not fight with anybody there. He just carried the message across. Now, to do this kind of dedicated service to the Master, what is important is the mind control. And how does one control the mind? When you see somebody making a mistake, immediately you jump on to advice. You tell them not to do this, not to do that. Practice this and practice that. Now, instead of telling other people, instead of fighting with other people, instead of fighting outside, you fight inside yourself. Find out what enemies are there inside. The enemies are more inside than outside. Find out your own weaknesses. Find out your own mistakes. You fight them out so that you transform. This is the only way for mind control. And of course it's very difficult for 99% of the people to control their mind. We need only God's grace for that. All the same, Jai Rama, one must keep on trying. The end result is in the hands of God, but trying is with us. So one must go on trying and trying for transformation, for remembering the Guru or God, for doing seva with dedication to the satisfaction of the Master. So this is what Bhagwan advised Agaram Jairaman. We all know when Lord Krishna spoke to Arjuna, the Bhagavad Gita, it's meant for all Arjunas, forever and ever. So now we all know how we have to practice and what we have to practice. Some people may think that this has already been narrated. It might be boring to them to hear it again, but these things have to be brought to our mind again and again and again with attention and contemplation. All these ideas, they carry the power of the Master when they came out of him. So what we have to do is import it inside. We have to get it inside like we eat food, and then the food must be digested, and then finally it becomes one with our blood. It's called assimilation. Now all that we have heard from Bhagwan, let us hear it repeatedly, and whatever we heard, let us contemplate on. Let us bring it to the mind again and again and again, so that we would remember until we remember, and contemplate on that, and make it our own, make it so natural for us that we would act spontaneously from these ideas. So Bhagwan, who gave all this precious diamonds, who dropped these pearls of wisdom, is here right in front of us, ready to help us with whatever we seek. And we seek transformation. We seek relief from sufferings in this world, and we seek transformation because we don't like what we are. The ego self, all the time reacting, acting less and reacting more. When those monkey sevaks were helping Rama to build the bridge, there was this squirrel, and the squirrel so much wanted to help Rama. At least these monkeys, they were all citizens of Sugriva's city, Sugriva's kingdom. And they had a purpose behind, because Rama, if he should win, he would make Sugriva the king of the kingdom. But this squirrel had no motivation at all, no motive at all behind it, except that the squirrel wanted to help Rama, wanted to do seva to Rama. Such pure motive. There was nothing else on its mind. So it went and dropped itself into the water, sea water, and then it would roll over on the seashore, pick up all those particles of sand, and then it would go to the place where they are building the bridge. And there it would shake itself so that all those sand particles would fall down there. And it was doing it. It was going on doing it when Rama noticed it, and he knew instantly the squirrel was doing the seva with pure intention. Immediately he took the squirrel on his lap and stroked its back with such love and tenderness of a mother. And that is why they stayed. These marks of love and tenderness stayed on the back of squirrel. Only the Indian squirrels have these marks, the 3 lines. So saying, Bhagwan concluded his session. Jai Rama, in your seva to your great master, if you should get humiliated, get tortured in different ways, know that it's a special blessing from the Master. And the scar you have will always remind you of the special blessing. It should remind you of Anjaneya, what he had to go through in his seva to Rama. And the final victory was Rama's, Anjaneya's. So we should pray to Bhagwan that we should remember, not only remember, but practice it also. And of course appeal to Bhagwan's generosity for his immediate divine intervention to free the entire humanity from the clutches of this virus. And bring back normalcy to the world. And Bhagwan, we beg you to uproot this panic and all other negativities from the minds of people, arrest the spread of the disease, enter the medicines to kill the entire clan, the crowd of viruses, and help all those people stranded and suffering for lack of facilities of medication or room or oxygen, so that they get well soon and return home safely. And Bhagwan, all those great soldiers who have been laboring hard day and night, slogging through the day, please protect them and give them all-round well-being. And we beg you for a lift to economy. Above all, we should remember how to be Anjaneya, how to be absorbed in Rama Seva, how to treat everything as a blessing from Gurudev. Everything is only part of our seva to our Guru. There was one Muhammad J.C. who lived even before Tulsidas. He wrote a beautiful Ramayana, though he was a Mohammedan. He was drawn to Sri Rama like Kabir, and he wrote Ramayana, a beautiful Ramayana in Hindi. And for all that, he had only one eye. And people used to make fun of him, criticize him. But he put up with all that and asked them, why are you blaming the pot? You should blame only the potter. It is the potter who made this pot. It is not the fault of the pot. So show your mockery, criticism, abuse to the potter. What can the pot do? Let us remember this advice from Bhagwan. Everything happens only by Father's will. And whatever happens, happens because it's necessary for our further progress in the path. And it's a great blessing. Bhagwan, give us this attitude. Please bless us with constant remembrance of your name. And let us be a willing and fitting instruments in your hands. And above all, give us that huge, supreme blessing so that we get purified, transformed completely, that we see only your presence everywhere, your blessings in every happening. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.